Well, I think the story of the first experiences with the drug are best told by the patients that receive that drug and best told by Dr. Einhorn and the other physicians who had a firsthand account of that experience. I can only speculate. I can envision myself back in that time where this diagnosis was a hopeless diagnosis once the cancer had metastasized. And while there were a number of drugs like vinblastine or actinomycin D that could give a young man a very temporary reprieve, perhaps a few months of feeling a little bit better, or not feeling better because perhaps he was having a lot of side effects from treatment. And the idea that your life was going to come to an end. There was a very nihilistic approach to the management of people with advanced cancer in that day. Many patients were just treated with comfort measures. In fact, in some cultures, it was really not appropriate to tell a patient that they had cancer because it would make them so depressed and so despondent that physicians and families would oftentimes want to protect their family member from this grim news. So I can only imagine the scenario where a patient who is confronting their own mortality at a very young age.
There will be a Christian devotional and prayer service today in the University Hospital Chapel at 11 a.m. There will be a Christian devotional and prayer service today in the University Hospital Chapel at 11 a.m. All are welcome.
I can only imagine, and unfortunately today you don't have to imagine because we still are faced with patients, not necessarily with testicular cancer, we have been very successful, but with other diagnoses in which that situation still holds true today. And the exhilaration, the excitement, the hope that those responses that were seen in the early days, I can only imagine were just beyond description.
Great. What, describe for me a kind of, going off that beyond description, I'm going to ask you to describe the kind of the effect of this treatment then in the broader scope of, the treatment of cancer, testicular cancer specifically, but kind of as a breakthrough, a medical breakthrough. How would you describe this sudden turn of events where Dr. Einhorn has now decided to combine these agents together?
It's not an understatement to say that the discovery of cisplatin is one of the greatest achievements in all of medicine. It was a transformational moment in the treatment of men with testicular cancer, but cisplatin is also used as a backbone drug for a dozen other more common cancers and is used in many different scenarios and has a profound impact on the outcomes of multiple diseases. But its impact is its impact in testicular cancer is not surpassed. And it revolutionized the treatment. It took an incurable disease in men with advanced stage disease and made it a readily curable disease. It took a situation where somebody was facing just a few months of life and now they can expect many decades of life. It took a situation in which there was complete despair to a situation in which there's reassurance to men that they're going to be okay. And we can't lose sight of the marvel of that medical discovery. Sometimes you can sort of get used to some of the things that are discovered in the advances in our everyday lives. But I like to reflect on just how amazing of an advance that was. And this now helps men in a way that, they are the recipient of this curative treatment because of the courage, that people had in the 1970s to take this experimental drug, to suffer through the side effects, to teach us the lessons of what dose to give, how often to give it, and so forth. Because oftentimes they suffered to learn those lessons. But now people today are the recipients of that knowledge and the benefit of that. So it is one of the great achievements in all of medicine, and it really symbolizes what we can do if we begin to study a problem in a comprehensive and courageous manner.